Anyway, keep talking about your world, please. Besides the population, what is there? You mentioned lots of oceans. Is that correct?
Let's see. I think I mentioned the 70% water thing, which only compounds the issue of livable land. Most of the water is salt water too, so I can't exactly drink that.
We've constructed cities under the water, and it seems like an awful amount, large amount of land not to settle.
I think scientists have tried, but it's kind of hard to build things underwater without drowning in the process of building the things underwater. So, still working on that.
Well, is there anything else of note? I mean, surely, it's an entire world. What about your culture? Speak of that, if you don't mind.
Culture's pretty different depending on where you go. But I'm from the good old America.
Is it your
good old United States of America? And there's also Canada and Mexico in America.
All these new terms are rather confusing, I'm afraid.
Just imagine freedom, guns, and more freedom.
So you're all
and French
very
fries
militant.
And hamburgers. Somewhat.
Do you have any wars then? All to compete over these resources, or do you fight for other things as well?
We've had a few. Don't like to talk about them.
Yes, I can see why. Frankly, I deplore violence, even this simulated
we had 2 really
times.
big world wars. Hopefully, we won't have a third.
World
wow,
wars?
our allies are just dropping.
Isn't conflict spanning the entire planet? Goodness, they
Pretty much, yeah.
sound quite horrid. I do not know how they would compare to, you know, the war against Bracken, but I imagine that they would be just as bad, if not worse. I mean, at least ours, you know, only spanned a few different nations, although, while there aren't, you know, other nearby nations, I suppose that, you know, there would be other nations in our world just far from our own, but, well, frankly, as you saw, that, you know, my world is not as technologically sophisticated as your own seems to be.
Yep.
For the most part, I mean.
Yeah.
Again, things like the stasis technology
that,
were a few breakthroughs in
I mentioned
there,
that
but
nuke to you before, right?
yes, I believe so. That large weapon.
That's basically what ended the Second World War.
Oh goodness.
We dropped a couple of them, and the whole world was so horrified that basically ended it.
How barbaric.
And then everyone else started building nukes, and now we're just kind of sitting around with a bunch of nukes, hoping we don't blow ourselves up.
Wait a minute. Now, we are currently in simulated violence, enduring simulated violence, according to you. Is that correct? Well, I mean, we are enduring simulated violence one way or the other, but you were saying that this is all merely a game. Well, I believe that we have been abducted by something or other. So you're saying that for amusement, your culture participates in false violence. Is that correct?
Pretty much.
And your culture
False
is
violence and football.
Why do you find false violence enjoyable, since you yourself just said that this is could essentially be construed as training for actual violence? Is your culture really so militant that even your forms of entertainment are but training for actual conflict? That's horrible.
Well, I wouldn't call this training for actual conflict in the real world. I mean, we don't have battle mechs yet. Think of it more as... Well, think about it. Would you rather we take out our aggression on imaginary robots or on entire other, you know, people?
I suppose that your point is taken, but still,
I mean, I don't know about people where you came from, but aggression is kind of a natural part of being human.
But still, just to find pleasure and base enjoyment and, you know, slaughtering one another, even virtually, it just, ugh. I don't know, frankly it rubs you the wrong way. I mean, wouldn't it, you know, essentially desensitize you to actual violence, make it, you know, the prospect of actual war seem more palatable?
Yeah. It kind of helps if you don't think of them as other creatures than just lifeless robots.
But
Incidentally, something we also did during war. Dehumanization. It's a funny thing.
Blasted.
It's also kind of harshing my mellow, dude.
Am I...
all this heavy stuff.
Your what? Your... mellow.
My mellow. My vibe. My
I...
good feelings. Remind me to teach you about Earth slang sometime.
Well, you use it often enough as it is. So if I figured that you know, if you were going to teach me about it, you would already have done so. Alright. Well, this simulation appears to be going rather well, all things considered.
Yep.
Not that it matters, of course. It's the sick irony of it all, isn't it?
Mmm, nihilism. Delicious.
Well, wait, what? I refer to a food of some sort in your world.
No. Nihilism. Concept of nothing being important or nothing mattering. And delicious because more misuse of words for slangy meanings.
Well, I wouldn't say that, you know, that nothing matters. It's just in this content, and the concept of the simulation, nothing matters. Now, there are, of course, things that matter. It's just a matter of, you know, getting out of this blasted simulation and back to the real world, or whatever it might be. I mean, you do not subscribe to this thought of nihilism, do you?
No, but your comment just kind of came across as nihilistic.
Well, I did not mean to,
Just,
you know, be
forget I
as
said
such.
anything.
Fair enough. So, Joe, is your match for the damage? Oh, I suppose it doesn't matter now, does it? Damaged or not? These things are completely irrelevant. Lost it. Where'd you go? Now then, about getting out of here. Oh, yeah, there's still no opportunities. We'll have to just keep biding our time. But what else about your culture is of note? Do you feel that... I mean, if I was to essentially disconnect and suddenly find myself in your world, well, I suppose that, you know, we would not be in the same area together now, would we?
Nope.
Seems rather unlikely, so...
let's see. I mentioned we like football, right?
Alright. What is this football that you speak of?
It's you have sports on your planet, right?
Feats of athletic prowess.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes, there are a few. Was never
Football,
one for them
you've got
myself.
a bunch
But...
of burly dudes basically throwing a ball and trying to get it down to the other side of the field.
Oh, that sounds riveting.
Yeah.
Truly,
You'd be surprised.
lots of things about your culture sound rather
That's why I play
surprising.
video games.
Yeah, yes, these destructive simulations that may or not be blasted are also confusing.
Well, better imagine violence instead of a real concussion and bone fracture.
I suppose, but fair enough.
Enemy sighted.